The version of Windows I am using is Windows 11 Superlite. I will leave a link to this video in the description in case you are interested. Git is a tool which will allow us to manage our different projects and keep the files that we create in the cloud. Great things about Git are that we can work on the projects from any machine. We just need to clone the project, we need to work on it, commit our changes and push the changes. Then we can come to a different machine, pull those changes, and everything will be reflected in our code. Also, it is very useful to look at different commits. Commits are a collection of files which we changed in a certain period of time. So for example, today we might add some new functionality, we changed 10 files and we want to commit those 10 files as a bundle of files we changed, and we push those changes and then we can review just the changes we made. So in each file we can see a collection of additions and deleted lines. This is very useful when reviewing code. To download Git, just press this Windows button. Next up, .NET 7. We will use .NET 7 development framework in order to create different applications. One or more per journey. It depends on what the journey is about. For example, in the first journey, we will create a project which will create a console using a graphics library, and then we will create additional projects, one per game. So for example, when we make a snake game, we will create a new project that references the console that we created in the first project. To download it, use this Windows section. I use this x64 version. Next, we want to download Visual Studio, which is a free development environment for individuals. It will allow us to edit code, it will assist us in that, and we can run the code using it in a very simple fashion. To download it, just click on this free download. Once the tools are downloaded, let's install them. First, I will be installing Git. Of all the options here, only thing I'm going to change is remove the checkbox near Git GUI here. So what this Windows Explorer integration does is when you right click, for example here on the desktop, there is this show more options in Windows 11, and here it will add additional items. If we check both these git bash here and git GUI here, it would add both of those over here. Since I don't use their GUI, I use GitHub. I don't want that in the context menu, so I will be disabling this option. As for the editor, I will just use the editor that comes with Windows, which is Notepad. As for the branch name, I usually like to just use the development for the default branch, because I usually work on the project for some time, and when it's ready I create the branch which holds the code that will go into production. Here I will use rebase. I won't go into details about this. I just like having a bit cleaner history of commits. Okay, Git is installed. So let's go to the next thing, which is .NET 7. Just click install. There we are. And finally Visual Studio. Since I mostly work on C# projects as backend, some console applications and JavaScript frontend, I will be picking options based on that. So ASP.NET and web development for web projects, Azure development because I like to use Azure to deploy my projects into production, Node.js because it's a JavaScript backend and also most of the things are installed using Node Package Manager. Next, .NET Desktop in case we are going to create some desktop applications. And finally, data storage and processing, so that we can connect to a database in case we need to. You don't have to install any of these. You can come here at a later point in time using the Visual Studio installer, but I like to have these, so I'm going to proceed with the installation. Okay, now that everything is downloaded, let's check everything works. So first thing I'm going to do is on the desktop. I'll go for show more options, and there we go, there is git bash here. So let's check git. Alright, .NET. Okay, so it's installed, and the last thing to check is Visual Studio. So let's launch it. Let's skip this for now. We will go for Visual C#. Okay, let's create a new project. And let's do a console application, just to check that everything works. Let's use .NET 7. Okay, there we go. This is the default template. It gives us a console write line, which will print out hello world to the console. So over here above, where this is green play button with our project name, let's just press that to run the application. And there we go. It prints out hello world. Okay, so everything is set up. We can start coding. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.